Hello everyone, my name's Romil. Welcome to Fortune Eternum. I'm joined by JR and Brian today. We're going to talk to you guys about the brand new map for 3v3 arenas. So JR, do you want to get us started with some of the different concepts we have gone through before we came down to this amazing arena map that we have today?
Sure, yeah. Like we've been doing with the past maps, we had lots of different gray boxes, gray box maps that we tried out testing. Several different, very different sized arenas. The one we landed on is probably the biggest, I think, of the bunch. It was the biggest one. And it is our biggest arena that we've done to date. And what was interesting there is this one in particular was it was definitely meant to have more of a ranged advantage early on. But what's different with this one is we're actually having the death ring close in much sooner. So, and it just goes in much more slowly. So it still ends around the same time. But it's kind of interesting how the dynamic changes in the map as the match goes on.
Yeah. One of the really nice things about this level was that this was the first one where our Bucharest team joined us, and Florin, he'd been playing a lot of the other two arenas and decided to sort of combat that ranged advantage in his design. So it turned out really nice.
Something also really cool about the map is also that it has a lot of areas where the players can kind of escape combat very quickly through mantling through little ledges that are around the map. And it's just, the more the players will play this map, the more they will kind of realize, oh, there's these nooks and crannies around the entire map that I can quickly escape combat when someone's chasing me, hide from ranged players if they're trying to snipe me from the upper levels, and things of that sort. So I think that's a really cool concept of this map once we kind of opened the space up a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Our original arena map was very simple, right? It was just 2 pillars and a flat ground, effectively, right? And then the next arena, we started to play a little bit with traversal, like the bridges and the under and over, and all the mantling and stuff. But we've definitely taken that to a whole new level on this one, and definitely interested in seeing what the players think about that. It can be a little controversial having that stuff in combat because, when you're climbing, you're not you're completely vulnerable, effectively, right? Yeah. But it does create those fun situations where you can get away from people, and it helps combat that range advantage early when you could run around as a melee player and kind of avoid getting shot at because there's a lot of different obstacles and things.
I think it makes it a lot more dynamic than the other two. Additionally, I think that the injection of some of the organic elements, the trees, the vines, the sort of the overgrowth and everything visually, I think it's quite distinct from the others as well. So hopefully the players will enjoy that.
Brian, with that, do you want to kind of talk about more of the theming of the map itself and why you chose a certain theme?
We went with the Monarch's Bluff kit, which was a bit underutilized in our game. It's a really beautiful one. We decided to sort of one of the fun things about these modes maps is juxtaposing the different sort of aesthetics of the architectural elements and then the organic, like I mentioned. And then we had concept come at a certain point. This is always really fun. So we kind of it goes from gray box and then we start laying some of the elements in there. Concept comes over with the paint over, and they sort of push and pull and everything. And it's really great to have a third-party perspective in that because once you get into the level, you kind of have tunnel vision. So it's nice to have the perspective, and I think it added quite a bit to the overall aesthetic of the arena.
I think my favorite part was when we were doing the concept in phase. Originally we had a little throne statue pedestal in the middle, but then it's they kind of came in and be like, what if we added a whole tree in the middle? I was like, whoa. Okay, and then we did 3 or 4 iterations on the tree itself.
It was an Azoth tree.
Yeah.
The final one isn't an Azoth tree though, right? We took that out, didn't we?
It's not the Azoth tree that we have in the in-game world, but it is a tree that kind of has the Azoth lines and stuff. And it's mainly because we had to one of the biggest feedback on early on with our arenas was where if you have a centerpiece, people will just kind of ring around it.
Right.
And do a chasing game where we kind of added like a twisted wind to it. So
Right.
like now you could cut the player's path if they're just playing Ring Around the Rosie around you.
Yeah, like the fountain. We had that fountain in the original Brimstone match and map, and that was it was it ended up being you just running around.
Yeah, exactly.
So we didn't want to avoid that with this one. So we have like it's still a tree, but it's like it has two like wrapping like elements.
It's like
right?
two new
two
trees
trees,
kind of
like,
winding
wrap-
each other.
yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool.
One of the other elements, the visual elements in there, was that we pulled a lot of the animals from the game, made statues out of those, pulled them into the arena, and then one of the artists in there is a huge fan of an 80s cartoon featuring
which one?
featuring amphibians, I believe, that love their pizza, and so he snuck. I think there were 5 turtles in there, so that could be another.
You just gave the number away.
Well,
Wait, I
like
thought there were
no, I
4
mean
of them.
you can find them all.
Why are
no,
there
no.
5?
Gotta catch them all?
Yeah.
Was there a 5th?
See if you can find all 5. Yeah, there's a 5th. There's one big daddy, and then there's 4 other little baby ones. I think. So I don't want to get too. I want to bore people with this. But see if you can find them while you're getting shot in the head, right?
Yeah. You love to hide Easter eggs in places with like high combat. And, like,
Yeah, exactly.
You're like trying to survive, but you also have to find the Easter
That's to
egg.
test how well you are doing, right?
What other animals have you guys used in the map?
In this map,
Yeah.
I think that there was a variety of them.
Okay.
But the turtles were the main,
Okay.
the star of the show.
Start of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Speaking of animals, there's also this really cool thing we also added was I know we have like the crowd noises in like the other arenas, but
yeah.
over here we have animal noises.
That's right. I had forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this arena, unlike the other ones where it kind of made sense that you could have like a crowd there watching, it didn't really make a lot of sense in this particular arena because it's just like you're in the middle of a forest and it's like this abandoned temple kind of vibe. So having the crowd screaming there just didn't really fit. Yeah. So instead we went with like monkeys, right?
Yep.
So like some monkeys in the like there's monkeys hanging out watching you fight and cheering you on.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that monkeys don't make better, right?
That's true.
Just in life and in general, I think.
Jared, do you want to talk to us more about when the players actually get to play the map?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to run it for a whole week, just like we did with bare bones mode. It's going to be June 17th through the 23rd, so Tuesday to Tuesday. And during that time, it will be the only arena map available. So you'll just queue up for arenas like normal, and you'll be in the new map.
And similar to Capture the Flag, which I believe the players have selected the name to be Frozen Pass. You also get to name this map. So once the preview goes live and you play the map, please engage with our community team on Discord and get a chance to imprint your name on the game by selecting a name.
Well, not your name.
Not your
but
name, yeah.
Well, who knows?
I mean, someone's name could be
Yeah.
Frozen Pass. I'm
I
just
suppose.
saying. Yeah. Weird name, but it could be. So, JR, do you kind of want to talk to us about why we selected a little bit of a larger map and what are different things we can do with that in the future?
Sure, yeah. So definitely something we're thinking about with new maps that we make is kind of what other game modes might be suitable on these maps. In the case of this new arena map, something we had been talking about was like having different variants on team size for arenas. So like we could do a 5v5 arena and it would still work very well in this map. We've also been talking about other types of deathmatch type modes, right? Like a team deathmatch, which would be different from arenas in that you'd have unlimited lives and it would just be more about team score. That could also live in a map, actually, as well as the Capture the Flag maps would also work really well for that.
That's a great transition to our community question. For a future game mode that's going to possibly come up next, would you like to see a variation of a 3v3 arena where we do 5v5? Or would you like to see a 10v10 team deathmatch where you can shoot people over the chasms in your favorite Capture the Flag map? or kill people in tight-knit arena maps 10v10. That would be awesome.
I thought you were going to keep the community question short.
Yeah,
That's like a really long question. Let's throw FFA in the mix.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
We could.
or a last man standing death match.
Yeah, those are the
We
three
have
choices.
a lot of options in our hands, so we would like to hear from you on what you would like to see next as our new mode that gets introduced to Aeternum.
How would you like to murder your opponents? In what fashion?
I have a menu for you to choose from.
Yeah. With that, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in Aeternum. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Do we have any community questions on this?
What are you looking at me for?
Are we done?
So.
Oh, you got it. You got it.